Wait. Do you know what just happened at this World Cup? Kylian Mbappé just tied Lionel Messi's non-penalty World Cup record, 20 goals, second all-time. But here's the thing that will blow your mind. This man has never won a Ballon d'Or. Never. A 27-year-old superstar, 58 international goals, breaking records at every World Cup. And he's still waiting for his first golden ball. But this tournament? This could change everything. Stick around because we're breaking down the full story of Mbappe's World Cup takeover and the biggest Ballon d'Or controversy of 2026. Welcome back to Robert's Football Talk. My name is Robert, and if you're new here, this channel is all about real football analysis, honest opinions, and breaking down the controversies that mainstream media won't touch. Today's video? Massive. We're talking about one of the most underrated superstars in world football right now, Kylian Mbappé. And we're going deep into why he's breaking world records but still hasn't won the award that matters most. If you're a football fan who loves debate, analysis, and the truth, you're in the right place. So let's dive in. Alright, let me set the scene for you. This World Cup? It's the Mbappé show, pure and simple. We're talking about a striker who is literally rewriting history in real time. 8 goals! 8 goals already in this tournament! And we're only in the quarterfinals! Think about that for a second. That's not just good, that's elite. Let me break down what he's done against Senegal. He scores a brace, 2 goals in his opening game, becomes France's all-time international top goal scorer. Against Iraq, another brace, 2 more goals. He's just getting warmed up. Against Norway, continues his dominance. Against Sweden, another double. 2 goals! And he's already the leading knockout goal scorer in World Cup history with this performance. Against Paraguay, 1 more. Never stops scoring. Against Morocco, clutch goal in the quarterfinals. Do you see the pattern here? This isn't luck. This isn't coincidence. This is a man on a mission. Now, listen to this stat. Mbappe now has 20 World Cup goals across his 3 tournaments. That puts him second all-time, just 1 behind Lionel Messi. Messi, the greatest footballer to ever live, and Mbappe is literally 1 goal away from tying him. When was the last time you saw a striker perform at this level? This is generational talent, but here's what most people don't realize. This isn't even Mbappe's best World Cup performance yet, because France is still in it. The tournament's not over. He's got semifinals. He's got potentially a final, and if France wins this, he could score 2, 3, 4 more goals. We could be watching him break Messi's all-time record live. This is history happening right now, but nobody's talking about the real controversy, and that's what we're going to discuss. Okay, so here's where it gets insane. Kylian Mbappé, generational talent, World Cup machine, breaking records at 27 years old, has never won the Ballon d'Or. Never. Think about that. Cristiano Ronaldo, 5 Ballon d'Ors. Lionel Messi, 8 Ballon d'Ors. Mbappe, 0. 0 awards for the Best Individual Player Award. 2023 Ballon d'Or voting. Mbappe placed 3rd. 3rd. He was behind Rodri and Vinicius Jr. Now, don't get me wrong, Rodri is an incredible player. He won the Euros. He's the heartbeat of Manchester City. But Mbappe in 2023, he was carrying PSG. He was the best striker on the planet, and he finished 3rd. Then 2025 happens. Ousmane Dembélé wins the Ballon d'Or. Wait, Ousmane Dembélé? Yes, Mbappe's own teammate. His teammate on the French national team. Now, before you think I'm disrespecting Dembélé, no. He had an incredible season with PSG. He won the Champions League. He deserves recognition. But Mbappe carried Real Madrid. Real Madrid had a terrible season. They finished 8 points behind Barcelona. They exited the Champions League in the quarterfinals. But Mbappe, playing through injuries, still scored 55 goals in all competitions. And what did he get? Not even top 5. This is the scandal we need to talk about. Why is Ballon d'Or voting so biased? Is it political? Is it because Real Madrid didn't win enough trophies? Is it because voters prefer midfielders over strikers? Let me show you the 2026 predictions right now. Current Ballon d'Or odds for 2026. Harry Kane, 30.6% probability. Why? Because he scored 61 goals for Bayern Munich in 1 season. He's the machine. Kylian Mbappé, 12.5% probability. 12%. This man is breaking World Cup records, and he's got 12% chance? That's disrespectful. Lamine Yamal, 11%. Michael Olise, 10.5%. Ousmane Dembélé, 9.3%. So basically, the odds favor Kane right now. But here's my question for you. Should the Ballon d'Or be decided on club performance only? Because if so, yes, Kane is having the better season overall. Or should it include World Cup? Because if it does, Mbappe is running away with it. This is the real debate. This is why I'm making this video, because the voting system might be broken. Let me paint you a picture of who Kylian Mbappé really is. This is a kid from Bondy, France, born in 1998. By 2017, he's breaking records at PSG at 18 years old. By 2018, he's at his first World Cup. And you know what happens? He becomes the second teenager ever to score in a World Cup final. After Pelé. Think about that. In the entire history of the World Cup, over 90 years of international football, only Pelé and Mbappe have scored in a final as teenagers. They win the World Cup, 4-2 against Croatia. And Mbappe is just 19 years old. Then 2022 happens. 4 years later, another World Cup. Qatar 2022. Mbappe scores 8 goals. He wins the Golden Boot. He scores a hat trick in the final. That's right, 3 goals in the championship match. Only Jeff Hurst did that before, in 1966. So we're talking 56 years between World Cup final hat tricks, and Mbappe just did it. He becomes the 5th player ever to score in 2 different World Cup finals, the 2nd to score in consecutive finals, and now, 2026. Just 4 years later, he's at another World Cup, his 3rd, and this time, he's the captain of France. He's 27 years old, prime time. He's got 8 goals already. He's got the Golden Boot in his sights. He's 1 goal away from tying Messi, and France is still in the tournament. Do you see what's happening here? This man is literally on pace to have the greatest World Cup performance ever. Not just in goals, but in presence, in dominance, in leadership. When the world watches football, when it matters most, Mbappe shows up. In 2018, World Cup hero. In 2022, World Cup legend. In 2026, World Cup machine. This is what separates good players from great players. This is what separates talented strikers from generational talents. So why doesn't he have a Ballon d'Or? That's the question that haunts us. I want to hit you with facts right now, because I need you to understand just how insane Mbappe's performance is at this World Cup. Mbappe's 2026 World Cup records, 8 goals. That's tied for the 2nd most in a single tournament. Only Grzegorz Lato holds the record with 9 goals in 1974. But we still have semifinals and potentially a final. So Mbappe could break that record too. Knockout stage dominance, he's now the leading goal scorer in World Cup knockout history. 9 goals in knockout matches. He just broke a 3-way tie. Brazil's Leonidas, Brazil's Ronaldo, and now Mbappe. Nobody has scored more in elimination games. Only player ever to score 3+ goals in the knockout stage in 3 different World Cups. Let me repeat that. Only Mbappe has done this. Ronaldo did it twice. Pelé did it twice. But only Mbappe, 3 times. Multiple goal games. He scored multiple goals in 7 different World Cup games. That's more than any other player in history. Messi achieved 6. Ronaldo achieved multiple times, but Mbappe, 7. France records, 58 international goals. He overtook Olivier Giroud, a World Cup winning striker. 14 World Cup goals for France. He surpassed Just Fontaine's record of 13, and Fontaine scored all 13 in a single tournament in 1958. Mbappe broke that across 3 tournaments. Appearances, 20 World Cup appearances for France. He's now tied with Hugo Lloris for the most, but he's the youngest to reach this landmark. Lloris was a goalkeeper, played many games. Mbappe reached it as a striker. Do you understand now? This isn't just a great World Cup performance. This is historic. This is record-breaking. This is legendary. And yet, when we talk about Ballon d'Or chances, People put Harry Kane at 30% and Mbappe at 12%. That's insane. How do you explain that? How do you justify those odds? Is it because Kane had better club season? Yes. But is that more important than what we're witnessing right now? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. All right, let me make a bold prediction. Based on everything I've seen, based on the statistics, based on the trajectory of this tournament, I believe Kylian Mbappé will win the 2026 Ballon d'Or. Here's why. First, World Cup victory incoming. France is the overwhelming favorite. Not just a favorite, the favorite. Their odds are better than anyone else. Why? Because they have two Ballon d'Or candidates on the same team. Ousmane Dembélé, defending champion, playing insanely well. Michael Olise, 26 goals, 33 assists this season. Elite talent. And Mbappe, the captain, the leader. This squad is stacked. They're going to win this tournament. And when you win the World Cup as the star player, the Ballon d'Or practically writes itself. Second, Golden Boot incoming. Mbappe is already leading in goals by a massive margin. Harry Kane is second, but Kane's team got eliminated. England lost to Belgium in the round of 16, so Kane can't score anymore. Mbappe will increase his lead. He'll likely win the Golden Boot, and the Golden Boot winner almost always in Ballon d'Or conversation. Third, the narrative. After missing out so many times, voters will be sympathetic, finally giving it to Mbappe. That's the narrative. He carried Real Madrid through injuries. He dominates World Cups. He's French football's present and future. The narrative supports him winning. Fourth, the records. If he breaks Messi's all-time record, if he wins the World Cup, if he wins the Golden Boot, 3 historic achievements. How do you not give him the Ballon d'Or? But here's my controversial take. Controversial take #1. Even if France doesn't win the World Cup, Mbappe should still win the Ballon d'Or based on this tournament's performance. Why? Because the voting happens in October. By then, people will remember his dominance, his records, his performance. How can you give it to Harry Kane if his team got eliminated? How can you give it to Michael Olise if Mbappe overshadowed him? The votes will flow to Mbappe. Controversial take #2. The current voting system is broken. We're emphasizing club performance too much. The World Cup only happens every 4 years. It's the biggest stage. When you perform on the biggest stage, that should be heavily weighted. Right now, they vote in October. They're basing it on club season. World Cup performances become secondary. That's wrong. World Cup should be 40 to 50% of the voting weight, not just a tiebreaker. Controversial take #3. Ballon d'Or voters have been biased against Mbappe. Why did Dembélé win over him in 2025? Why does Kane have 30% odds and Mbappe 12%? There's bias in the system. Whether it's conscious or unconscious, it's bias in the system. There. These are my controversial takes. You don't have to agree. But that's what I believe. Now, before you come at me in the comments, I want to address the Harry Kane factor, because I'm not disrespecting Kane. This man is a machine. Let me give him his flowers. 61 goals in the 2025-26 season. 61, that's the most scored by any player since Messi and Ronaldo's peak. We're talking Messi at his absolute best, Ronaldo at his absolute best, and Kane matched that output. He's won European Golden Shoe, Bundesliga title with Bayern, DFB Pokal, DFL Super Cup. The man is complete. Defensively sound, leadership qualities, scoring machine, consistent. I'm not saying Kane doesn't deserve consideration. He does, but here's the thing. Kane and England lost in the round of 16 to Belgium. England couldn't get past the round of 16. Now, is that Kane's fault? No, he played well, but that's the reality. His tournament contribution is over. He can't score anymore. Whereas Mbappe, still going, still in the tournament, still scoring, still dominating. Kane's season, 61 goals, incredible. Mbappe's season, 55 goals, incredible. Mbappe's World Cup, 8 goals, dominant. Kane's World Cup, 2 goals, then eliminated. That's the difference. When it matters most, one shows up, one doesn't. Should the Ballon d'Or reward consistency and great club season? Or should it reward peak performance on the biggest stages? I say it should reward both. But if I'm forced to choose, I choose the man who shows up when it matters, and that's Mbappe. Here's my controversial take number 4. If Kane wins the Ballon d'Or and England doesn't win the World Cup, then the voting system is proven to be biased toward English football. Because logically, how do you justify giving it to him when his team got eliminated early? His World Cup contribution is minimal. Mbappe is breaking records! You can't! Unless there's bias, that's facts. Now, I want to zoom out for a second, because this Mbappe situation reveals something bigger, something systemic. The Ballon d'Or voting system might be fundamentally flawed. Let me explain why. Issue #1, timing. Voting happens in October. That's 3 months after the World Cup. 3 months! Do you know what that means? People's memories fade. Club season ends. World Cup ends. Long break. By October, what voters remember? Not always the World Cup heroics, sometimes the club season narratives. This is why recent events matter less. Issue #2 weights. Currently, voting is based on club season, heaviest weight, continental competition, medium weight, international performance, lighter weight. But the World Cup happens once every 4 years. Why is it lighter weight? It's the biggest tournament, the most watched event in football. It deserves more weight. Issue #3, voter composition. Who votes? Journalists, coaches, players, fans. Are they all knowledgeable? Are some biased? What if English journalists vote for Kane? What if French journalists vote for Mbappe? What if there's block voting? We don't know. The system isn't transparent. Issue #4, the recency bias. Sometimes, recent performances matter more than they should. Sometimes, less. It's inconsistent. Example, Mbappe's 2023 season was incredible, but he finished 3rd. Why? Because the previous World Cup wasn't weighted enough. Now, in 2026, his World Cup performance is happening. But the club season is already over, so voters might underweight it again. This inconsistency is the problem. So here's what I believe should change. Proposed reform. World Cup years. 50% of voting weight on World Cup performance. Off years. Traditional club season voting. This would be fair. This would reward performance on the biggest stage. This would make sure that a player performing historically on the World Cup doesn't get overlooked. Until the voting system changes, I genuinely believe Mbappe won't win the Ballon d'Or, even if he deserves it, unless he wins the World Cup. Then they might be forced to give it to him. But that's pathetic. That's not a fair system. That's a broken system. Okay, so here's what you need to watch for in the coming weeks. Pay attention to these moments. Semi-finals coming. France will likely face Spain. Can Mbappe score? Can he lead France to another victory? Watch him. Potential final. If France makes it, that's everything. A final goal would be legendary. That's his moment. Golden boot race. Currently leading. Will he win it? If he gets 2 to 3 more goals? Definitely. That's his to lose. Messi's record. 1 goal away. When he scores that 1 goal, that's a historic moment. Record tied with the GOAT. Ballon d'Or narrative media will be discussing it. Is Mbappe finally getting his award? Is this his moment? These conversations matter. They influence voting, social media momentum, follow the buzz. If Mbappe's performances go viral, if people are talking about him constantly, that pressure affects voters. Here's what I want you to think about over the next 2 weeks. Who do you think deserves the 2026 Ballon d'Or? Is it Kane for his club season? Is it Mbappe for his World Cup dominance? Is it Olise or Dembele? Is it someone else? Think about it, because the answer to that question shows what you value in football. Do you value consistency over the entire season, or do you value peak performance when it matters most? That's the real debate. All right, legends, that's the full breakdown. Mbappe's World Cup takeover, the Ballon d'Or scandal, the broken voting system, everything. And I want to know what you think. Drop your opinion in the comments right now. Do you think Mbappe deserves the Ballon d'Or? Or do you think Harry Kane should win? Should the voting system change? Tell me. I read every comment. I respond to the best ones. So comment now. Also, if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button. We're trying to hit 10,000 likes on this video. When you hit like, it tells the algorithm this video is important. It helps us reach more people. People who want real analysis, not clickbait, so hit that like button and subscribe to Robert's Football Talk, because we drop World Cup analysis, Ballon d'Or breakdowns, controversial takes, player comparisons, transfer predictions, upcoming talent spotlights, everything football. If you're tired of mainstream media being scared to tell the truth, this is your channel. We say what we believe. We back it up with facts. We start debates. So subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way, when I drop the next controversial breakdown, you're the first to know. And speaking of next videos, next breakdown could be Erling Haaland's record-breaking pace, Vinicius Jr.'s controversial moments, Bellingham versus Foden, who's the future, Messi's last dance emotional breakdown, VAR destroying World Cup matches. Which one are you hyped for? Comment below. Your comment might decide the next video. Thank you so much for watching this breakdown. I genuinely appreciate you spending 40 minutes with me, discussing football, breaking down stats, and talking about what we really believe. That's what separates real fans from casuals. Real fans think, real fans debate, real fans want truth, and that's you. So I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep analyzing, keep questioning, and keep loving this beautiful game. This is Robert on Robert's Football Talk. Peace out, legends. Let's goo.